Edmonton Public School Board assigned some principals a task, and that task was to choose 3 teachers and 3 students from their schools that they think would be a very positive influence on a conversation and just hold conversations about assessment in our schools.
We're not only looking at our way of assessing, and by our I mean North America's way of assessing students. We are taking outside sources, for example, the oral presentation from Norway.
We're all here, 6 high schools at Rocky Mountain House, talking about how we can bring equity into assessments and integrate oral assessments into high schools.
Coming into this retreat, I was kind of scared. I was really stepping out of my comfort zone. I don't really talk in big groups.
I'm just going to be completely honest. It is really new to me. I've done a lot of stuff involving martial arts and in law enforcement and security, but this is a whole different level. I wasn't expecting this.
Also, why is this place called a library? No books.
Realizing how important leadership is, and important that your teachers understand how you're learning and you understand how they're assessing you.
The idea is we are trying to change the way that we are assessed, and we're trying to change the way we look at school in general. And yeah, we're meeting here today to discuss what assessment looks like for each one of us in our schools.
Hi everybody. I think we're gonna try and get started. Hopefully you're at a table where you're feeling comfortable. Right now we're gonna pick up this conversation in Alberta, and we're going to, in particular, be in Edmonton Public Schools.
My table, and specifically my school, was looking into exploring the foundations of what students value and how we can effectively change their values into something that's going to help them achieve their goals. So maybe instead of valuing going out and partying, they'll value being able to speak out loud in school.
It's weird because I'm with teachers. They're the ones that are learning from us. And that's something I haven't experienced, because it's usually the student that is learning from them.
Because sometimes people get test anxiety, and sometimes talking through something helps out a lot.
One of the discussions that we had, it was what do you think assessment is and what were your experiences? And everyone's coming up with this is a test, this is a quiz, whatever. But for me, I talked more about my experience, my emotional feelings towards assessments, and no one else really saw that. So it's good to see that other people have different opinions.
Because we all have different schools, different ecosystems, and we're trying to combine to get a final image of what assessment looks like today.
I know that some of the students here alongside me, they are naturally shyer or more of an introvert than I am. So seeing them get out of their comfort zone, that was something special to see, because they allowed themselves to be vulnerable.
This is brand new experience for me.
Every time I look into that light, I get blinded.
A student and a teacher are not as much different. They're still learning from you in the classroom too. And that's what I learned.
There's a lot to gain from talking to your students. There's so much that they can learn from us, and vice versa. The only way that they can get better is if we speak up and not be afraid.
I was always the quiet kid in the back of the class, always looking out the window, because I just never liked talking. But I just had to push myself, because I realized that this is the way the world works.
Is assessment broken?
I wouldn't say it's broken, but I would say that it hasn't adapted well in terms of the diversity that we have nowadays. I think it could change. I don't think it's necessarily broken. I think we, of course, could continue going on with it, because it has worked, and it's still continuing to work, but I think it could work much more efficiently. Today's forms of assessment are very stress-inducing and very final.
Thinking you're going to do good, knowing you know this stuff, but when you get the test marks back and you see you failed or didn't get the grade you wanted, it's kind of heartbreaking a little bit.
And you're confident you knew the material.
Yeah.
And I think when we think of assessment, we think of our end result, whereas what we're trying to get out of assessment is our growth, and we're trying to get rid of that final mark on the paper, and we're trying to show, this is where I was at the beginning, this is where I am now, where can I continue to go?
For me specifically, this retreat is teaching me how to voice my opinion and how to cooperate in a group within my city and internationally, and even closer within my school.
Well, I'm just gonna start by saying that it was so cool today to just talk about what we've seen, all of us, and just see the reactions on the teachers' faces, whether it was like they were pleased or they were confused, like, whoa, that happens, or you think like that.
I feel that you can be as book smart as you want. You can literally know every single event that happened in history, but if you can't communicate and share that with people, then what's the point?
Come on out. It's innovative, and you have the chance to be a part of the change that I wish to see in the world.
I guess I'm almost jealous of the future generations, because this is such like a big thing we're doing, and it's so cool, and it'll be interesting to grow up and see the impact we've all made.